Hi, welcome to 5 Minute Fiddle. This is me Fiddle, I'm Ben. So today I'm talking about knowing the history behind the music that one plays. That sounded ever so posh, didn't it? So if you were interested in learning the music of Miles Davis, for example, then whilst looking at that music and learning that music, I think it's a good idea to go further back into the past to not only see where that style came from, but to see where jazz as a whole came from, and then to see what came before jazz and see how it all ties together. So as I've mentioned before, I'm a classically trained violin player. I've been playing since I was 6. And when I was a teenager, I heard Stefan Grappelli, Benny Goodman, Oscar Peterson. I thought, I want to do jazz. I personally feel that my years of classical studies and training prepared me for the world of jazz. So I think it's very useful to learn as much music as you possibly can for a few reasons. First of all, more versatility, more ideas from different stages of music within your improvisations. Secondly, I think there are more opportunities the more you know, the more you're able to do. So if you can read music, for example, plenty more opportunities. If you can play many different styles of jazz or of music in general, loads more opportunities. Thirdly, it's just great to be able to play all of these different styles. It's really nice to be able to add that variety to your practice and to your play in life. So from, Mozart to Gershwin one day, or from Beethoven to Brubeck, if I'll get the alliteration in there. It really does make things fun, varied, really interesting, and you'll be able to use all these ideas in your solos and improvisation. So going back to classical music, you've got things like the circle of fifths. That's a really prominent thing within a lot of jazz music. For instance, the middle of a rhythm changes. If you were in B flat, you'd start on the D. Go to the G, then to the C, to the F, back to the B flat. Got that circle of fifths. Songs like Sweet Georgia Brown. So there's all those tunes with all those circle of fifths. I think one of my favourites is Autumn Leaves. It's got this beautiful minor feel to it, almost very classical. So you can see by using that classical influence in the jazz world, you can really make a meal out of some songs. So if you've got an understanding of really early Baroque music, it's funny, a lot of people say that Bach, he was the first jazz musician, and you can kind of see why. If I was to play this, it might sound Baroque. It's just an improvisation in a Baroque kind of style here. But actually, if I was to swing it, just take a very similar improvisation and swing it, turns into kind of minor swing. So you can see how using that Baroque style, it does fit over the jazz. They're 400 years apart, but it's nice to be able to slip those ideas in. So with the circle of fifths and the Baroque styles, it's really nice to see how they link from one genre into jazz, and it's nice to see where they came from. So I do understand that not everyone is going to go back to the classical influences, but even with jazz, it's worth looking as early and as far back as you can to really get an idea of where those later styles in jazz came from. Like I said, in the ragtime, you've got that amazing stride piano. You've got rhythm changes, one of the most used jazz structures, probably other than the blues. And the blues as well is as early as it gets almost for jazz. So knowing those kind of real bluesy chords and structures. Just doing A flat for fun. So bringing those early jazz influences into the later styles of playing jazz, I think it gives it more context and it gives it a real depth. So there's my take on looking at all the history of the music that one plays and putting it into practice within what I play now. So we'll see you next time for some more 5-minute fiddle. Is that? That's fine. Okay, right, I go, this is Ben, I'm my fiddle. Shall I say that?